Did the officer, as far as you know, either from your own observations or your mom's, make any effort to collect evidence?
No.
Did he suggest or offer you a rape kit?
No.
Did anyone offer you that sort of treatment in terms of examining you to see if you'd been harmed?
If it happened once I got to the hospital, but nothing from the police.
Okay. All right. What reports were written as far as you know?
All I know is that they took me to the hospital. They said that I had been hit over the head quite a few times and the bruising on my eye, and said I got raped, and at one point they didn't even know I was going to even survive.
I'm going to ask you some questions about an incident that happened to a coworker, a subordinate, and we talked briefly in a pre-interview, so I have an idea of some of the things you may say, but if there's anything you want to add, if I don't ask it, make sure you just go ahead and put it on tape. I am recording. Let's start with just tell me your name, your employment, and your relationship to the victim.
Sure. Bridget Kendall. I work for a school.
Mm-hmm.
And Salisa was actually under me. I was her manager.
Okay.
In Kentucky.
And you were in Kentucky, employed there, and you lived there as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How far did you live from her?
Maybe like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. And you told me in a pre-interview that there was a day when she didn't report for work.
Yes.
And you were concerned.
Yes.
All right. Now, was she absent more than one day or just one day?
She was absent 2 days total.
And on the second day, you took action?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do, and who did you call?
The first thing we did was contact one of her friends that was also from Arkansas that was working with us as well. And she attempted to get a hold of her. Was not able to do that. I got my supervisor, my manager, and we got permission from our campus director to leave the premises and to go over to her apartment because we knew she lived close by.
Okay.
We were concerned.
Okay. And did you all take one car, more than one car?
We took more than one car.
Okay. How many cars, how many people?
2 cars. It was myself and my manager in one car, and then there were 3 other girls in another car.
Okay. So how many people? 5?
Yes.
Okay. And you all arrived at approximately the same time?
Yes.
What time was that, if you can tell me?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Was it morning, afternoon?
I believe it was early afternoon.
Early afternoon. Okay. And where did you go? What did you do when you got there?
The first thing we did was we went to the door and knocked on the door to see if we could get her to come to the door and open it up. And there was no response.
Okay. Did you knock loud, hard to make sure?
And on the windows.
Okay. So you were banging the doors and on the windows, and no one answered.
Right.
Okay. Did you also call her on the phone?
We did. No answer.
And could you hear the phone ring inside?
I don't remember. Yeah.
But you did call her, and the phone didn't. No one answered. Went to voicemail?
Yes.
Okay. How many calls did you make, if you know?
I'm not sure.
More than one?
Definitely more than one.
Okay. Less than 15?
No, I would say more than 15.
So you made quite a few calls.
We called repeatedly.
Okay.
Right.
Over and over and over.
Yes.
Okay. And when you got to the apartment, did someone greet you, aside from the fact you knocked on the door? Did anyone come out and say, "Hey, what's?"
No.
Okay, so you saw no one,
right.
And you kept banging on the door.
Yes.
All right. What did you do next?
We called the police.
Okay. Which one of you, if you can tell me, called the police, if you know?
I don't know who called the police.
It wasn't you.
It was not me.
Okay, but so one of the parties of the 5 people called the police.
Yes.
And do you know what they told the police?
That we were concerned about our friend. We think she was in the apartment. We think something's wrong. Can you come and check it out for us? That kind of, a concern. Please come and see what's wrong.
Okay. Now, when you say you guys were concerned, it's all right. When you, it's okay. When you say you were concerned and you expressed that, or your party expressed that to the police, were you guys casual about it? Were you adamant? Were you really seriously
honestly,
concerned?
I was almost frantic because she was the type of employee that never called in, never did anything wrong, was never sick really. She had over 60 sick hours, which is, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew something was not right. Her car was outside. She was there. Something wasn't right, and I was concerned. I told them when the policeman got there, she hadn't showed up for work for 2 days, and I was concerned.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you specifically told that to the officer?
Yes.
So you could, not for anybody else, but you said in your own words,
yes.
That's what you told the officer?
Yes.
Okay. Did anyone else express similar concerns to the officer?
Yes. Everyone that was there was adamant about something wasn't right.
Okay. And what did the officer say?
Well, he went into to the apartment and shut the door, wouldn't let us in.
He actually went inside?
He did go inside.
Okay. And did he say what he found?
He came back out less than, I would say, no more than 5 minutes later, and said that she had a fight with her boyfriend and that she was upset and that we couldn't go in.
Okay. Did the person who he described as the boyfriend ever appear to any one of you?
No.
So you guys never saw him?
Right. I never saw anyone.
But he did apparently speak with someone inside the apartment?
He spoke to someone, yes.
Okay. So the officer told you he actually talked to another party and that the party was in the apartment and said it was okay?
Right.
Okay. Did he give you an opportunity to go check for yourself?
No. He shut the door and said we couldn't go in. He could not let us in.
Did anyone question him or ask him?
Yes. Well, at that point out, we all became, a little frustrated and angry that, well, we haven't seen her. How do we know that she's okay? How do we know that that's her in there? We don't have any confirmation at that point.
And what did he say?
He said there's nothing he can do and that he just got in his car and left.
How long did it take him to get there, if you know, or just generally or approximately, from the time that you guys made a call? How long did it take him to get there? A few minutes, an hour, how somewhere in between?
Probably 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, about 15 to 20 minutes. And in the meantime, you guys were all standing outside the apartment?
Yes.
And so once you guys got to the apartment, you didn't leave and come back. You stayed right outside the door?
Right.
Okay, so if someone was in there, they wouldn't have an opportunity to leave. They would have to walk through you guys to get out.
Yes.
Okay. And so that apartment is basically sealed because you're there. The officer is called, walks up, you guys tell him the story. When you told him what your concerns were you talking near the apartment or somewhere off to the side?
No, right by the door.
So you guys are right there discussing, you're upset, you're worried about your friend, your coworker, you're telling him all this, and he then goes inside.
Yes.
Could you hear him talking at all, or could you hear him?
I couldn't hear anything, no.
Okay, you couldn't hear him, but you knew he was in there talking to somebody.
Yes.
Okay, and he came out and confirmed that he spoke with someone.
He said he spoke to someone. I don't know who he spoke to. He said she had a fight with her boyfriend, she's upset, everything's fine.
Okay. And tell me what happened next.
We called the police again because we just knew something wasn't right. Someone went over and got the building apartment manager to see if they could let us into the apartment. At that point, someone came over from the apartment office with a key. I don't know if they got permission or what happened at that point. I'm actually the one that went in first. As soon as I went in, I went to make sure there was nobody in the apartment, and the other girls went right to her. I searched through the whole place and didn't find anyone.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. When the police officer left, then you guys left and went to the apartment management's office, so someone could have come out of the apartment at that point?
Possibly.
Okay,
Yeah.
So there was a point in time where you guys left the apartment to go get additional help.
Well, someone was always there, but the problem was that we were looking to see if the cops were coming.
Okay.
And it was, I'm not sure, there was always someone there at the door.
So there could have been a time when someone who was inside could have walked away.
Of course.
Okay, that's what I need to know. All right. And did you guys ever see the maintenance man in the apartment?
No.
Or did you ever talk to him?
No.
And you never spoke with anyone inside the apartment?
No.
Okay. But you did talk to the officer. He said he spoke with someone, and
Yes.
he spoke with her.
Yes.
And that she was not feeling well, and she was upset.
He said she was upset, she had been crying, she had a fight with her boyfriend, and that's all he said.
Okay, okay. All right, tell me what happened after you notified the apartment person and they let you into the apartment. You said you went in, some of your coworkers checked on her, and then what did you do?
I went through the whole place. I looked in the closets, under the bed, in the bathroom, in the bathtub, in the closet, everything, to see if someone was in there, because the place was a mess, a complete mess.
Okay. Had you been in the apartment ever before?
No, I've not been in the apartment before.
Is she generally a tidy person?
Yes.
So you wouldn't. It was a mess beyond what you would expect for given what you know about this person.
Yes.
Okay. And did it look as if someone had intentionally damaged things, or like someone was looking for something, or is it a way for you to tell?
It looked like someone was looking for something. The trash was even knocked over. There were clothes all over the bed and on the floor. There were things in the bathroom. Everything was kind of just thrown about.
Okay. And what condition was your coworker in?
When we found her, she was laying on the couch. She had a big, huge welt on her face. She had blood in her eyes. Her clothes were stained.
Stained with what? Blood?
Blood. Mm-hmm.
Give me an example of where.
No, it was right on her shirt.
Okay.
She couldn't really open her eyes at all, and she couldn't talk at all.
And when you say she couldn't talk, why couldn't she talk? Tell me.
Her tongue was swollen.
Her tongue was swollen in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting upset right now.
Mm-hmm.
What did you assess the situation to be based on what you saw?
So what I saw is something happened to her. Someone hurt her.
And it's enough to make you almost cry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any possibility that the police officer didn't see the same things that you saw?
No, there's no way. He saw it.
He saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he saw it, do you have any idea why he wouldn't react the way you're reacting, at least emotionally, feel that there's a need to do something?
Maybe he was lazy or didn't care. I don't know.
And what did you do for your friend? What did you as a group do?
I sat to the left of her and someone else sat to the right of her, and we prayed with her that everything was going to be fine, and that we called someone that someone was coming to help her.
Did she say anything to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when the paramedics arrived, what did they tell you? What did they do? And did they take her away and get her treatment?
They did. They couldn't believe that someone had left her there. They didn't believe we'd already called the cops. I told them we called the police already. Someone was here and they left. And the paramedics couldn't believe that they had left her. And they thought it had been a long time. I said, no, it was just like maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. You know, she needs help. And they could see it. They didn't even need for us to say anything.
What did they do in terms of the treatment that they gave her, and did they transport her away from the scene?
They put her in the stretcher immediately. Then they called the hospital. They called it in immediately.
So she was actually transported to a hospital in an ambulance or a paramedic unit with a paramedic unit. Okay. Did the police ever come back out while you were there?
A different set of police officers came.
Okay. Were they wearing suits or were they wearing uniforms?
They were in uniform.
Okay. And what did they do? What did they do? What did they say?
They started asking questions the same way as the other, paramedics did, and just kind of trying to figure out what happened. And we told them the same thing, that someone was already here and they left, and we had been calling, and that the guy who was there before just left her.
If the maintenance man or whomever it was in that apartment when the officer went in there, the officer would have seen her laying where?
On the couch.
With blood on her shirt.
Yes.
Eyes swollen shut, blood in her eyes, unable to talk because her tongue was so swollen, mm-hmm. unable to move.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, he said that she was just upset and had a spat with her boyfriend.
Yes.
That's what he told you in his own words.
Yes.
And he offered no assistance.
Nope.
And he didn't look back when he left.
No. He was actually upset that we were asking him to let us in.
To do his job.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to interview you again. Do you live here in town? This
yeah.
part? I'm not going to say what part of town, but we're going to talk again. I want to stop the tape for a second.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not going to stop it. Let me just. Again, there are very few cases that I editorialize on, but I'm going to do this. I'm outraged, and I understand why you're upset. You have every reason to be very upset. But let me tell you something more important. You're what they call a hero. And I mean that. You are. You're a hero.
He shouldn't have left there.
I know that. I know that. You're a hero. And this story needs to be told, not just for her, but for other people who may be experiencing the same sort of disregard. No one should be left like that. No one should be so unimportant that they can't get help like that when they need it. And this is going to be exposed. And I don't know what you know about me, but this is something that I do for a living. And cases like this, I can do something about this. So I'm going to make sure that as many people as we can make aware of what happened here and know about it. And if my approach makes you uncomfortable at some point, you can say, hey, Mr. Kamal, I don't want to be in this or I don't want to be in that. But I do want to tell you, your testimony is critical to this entire case. There may be issues of race in this. There may not be. That's not where I'm trying to push it. Mm-hmm. But it may just be a thing of a man disregarding a woman.
Right.
I've worked with cops who just don't think very much of women in general. Mm-hmm. And if that's what was affecting his decision making, he shouldn't be in a uniform ever.